Hi, friends. This is Joe Chadburn, the Ambassador Network Director here at World Missionary Press. And I am here with my good friend, Every Home for Christ National Director, Sunday Avla Kossivi. Welcome, Sunday.
Thank you very much, Brother Joe. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you again here.
Yes. Always good to see your face and to hear your voice. And my wife sends her love to you and your lovely wife and the precious people of Benin.
Thank you very much. We so appreciate that. And I agree to your wife also. Thank you very much for that.
Yes, and we bring you greetings and much love from our President, Harold Mack, and the entire staff at World Missionary Press. We just love and appreciate you, and we've been praying for you and all of our brothers and sisters around the world, and that most certainly includes the continent of Africa, which is very large, and our friends in Benin. So I'm just going to let our friends listen in on us catching up with one another a little bit. So how has COVID-19 affected Benin to begin with?
Yeah, like we already know, COVID-19 is worldly pandemic, and COVID-19 is shaking every nation in the whole world. Also, Benin, we are facing the same challenge here. Now we have about 312 confirmed case, 312 confirmed cases here.
304 confirmed cases?
312.
312.
Yeah.
Confirmed cases. Okay.
Yeah, confirmed cases.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, we have only 3 deaths for the moment.
Just 3?
We have 3 deaths. Just three for the moment. And we have many also who have been healed from COVID-19. Yes, I can say that by the grace of God, the Lord has helped us a lot, because through prayer, I think that the hand of the Lord is helping us, and also we are observing the barriers and the social distancing, the washing of the hands, and all those things. So the country was in quarantine. So the country was quarantined for about 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
For about 2 months. So we were not doing nothing. We are not doing nothing. So all the churches are closed. Everything are closed. The restaurants, big stops, everything are closed. So we were in quarantine. So I can just say that this coming Sunday is the church. The government has said that the church can open, but with just few of people can gather in the church, and they have to observe the social distancing again in the church. So this is how we are. The challenge is we are fighting it. It is not easy. It is not easy. And one of the important thing, because the COVID-19 was detected in the capital town, Cotonou. Cotonou is our capital town. Immediately, the government take a decision to restrict, I can say, to cut off other cities from Cotonou. So we don't have any access to go to those places again, except you want to go to assist those people, because when they cut off those cities from Cotonou, it's also how can I say? It's also an economical problem, because those cities, they connected to the big cities so that they can buy, they can sell, they can do everything. So immediately when those cities is disconnected from the big capital town, that there's a major problem of economical problems, and people are crying for help, hungry. So except you are going to help those in the villages so that they can allow you to go. If not, they will not allow you to go. Yeah, so this is how we are fighting it, and we are trying to do also our best to prevent people to sensitize people so that they can know really what it's about, because in Africa here we had a lot of problem. When I say a lot of problem, uh, it's not problem of how do you call it? The biggest problem we have is lack of information. So this pandemic, I can just say that it's only the grace of God that keeps us, because the way our people are, the level of ignorance in our country, the level of ignorance in our country, if normally this pandemic will hit African nations, it will be very, very worse. So we are just thanking the Lord, because it's just by the grace of God we are still alive, because the level of the ignorance we have here, because people are still believing that COVID-19 can never do them nothing. Yeah, they are just living like that. They are not taking care of themselves. They are just like that, you see. So because so by the grace of God, everything is fine now. Everything is moving small. Yeah, small. By the
So there was 312 cases, only 3 deaths. So that is so low compared to what's happened in the United States and China and Italy and many other places. So I am so thankful for that. But hearing that, and I'm just, because our sound was a little bit muffled there for a little bit, but just to catch up on that, make sure that I heard correctly. Not only were the borders cut off to other nations, but also it was hard to go from city to city, which really affected trade and the overall economy and things like that. Yes. But the Lord, sounds like the Lord is blessing, and you're able to start church again this Sunday, but with social distancing and incorporating certain things, which I would imagine if it's a large, church building or area where you're gathering, it's not quite as impacted than the smaller churches, I would imagine, in villages. That's going to make it very difficult. You have to, they probably have to have multiple services and kind of rethink things, kind of reinvent the wheel. And I know the Lord will give wisdom, and that's what he does. Yes, he's a genius, and he lives in us, and he'll show us what to do. That's always the thing. Now I was talking to Brother Abo from Ghana the other day, and he said that the government had offered the people quite a bit of economic relief. The water was free, and the electricity was like half price. Is there something like that going on in Benin? Or
actually, this is one of the problems we have in Benin. That we don't have this kind of privilege here. I think in West Africa, Benin is one of the countries who doesn't do that, because I remember in one of the interview that the journalist done with our president, he was mentioning that the level of poverty in our country doesn't allow us to free the electricity bill and the free water bill and all those things. So we don't have free electricity bill and anything. This is where things are small hard for people. But we are managing.
Yes. Now I would imagine being stuck at home, and you're the national director for Every Home for Christ, it's been quite a challenge. I'm sure you've used the internet and done certain things, through Zoom like we're doing, but it's not the same as being able to interact with local leaders and churches, and then to be able to get the information out to homes. So how has that kind of been held up, and what do you see for the future in that respect?
Yes, I see that, like how you say, it was not easy because everybody is quarantined. The church is not meeting again. It's very difficult to meet with pastors. So what we have been doing is to encourage churches. We call them by phone. We call them straightly by phone because almost the pastors that work with us, we have their contact. So we call them by phone to get in contact with them to see how they are doing. We give them advice how to organize the sheep, how to organize the members. We give them advice to start a home cell church, like they can meet like 10% or 5 in a place to place, in the house to house. So
and they've been able to do that during COVID-19?
Yes, they are being able to.
Okay.
Yeah. So almost churches, they were meeting 5, 6 in different homes. So the fellowship are still going on, even though they can't come all them together, but the fellowship is still going on. So we I think we provide many. We wrote some small tracts for them to distribute to these members. On the tracts, we explain the necessity of prevention against COVID-19. How the disease is very dangerous. So they have to come out from their ignorance. They have to know that this disease, we need to fight it. You have to respect what the government has said, the social distancing. You have to wash your hand, cover your nose, face masks. So it is also not everybody that know how to read. So we have also the privilege we have some programs on radio, some radio stations. So after preaching on the radio station for just about 10 minutes on salvation, we always remember those who are hearing us, the auditors, those who are hearing us, we always remember them to observe the social distancing, observe what the government says. So this is what we have been doing. I can say that by the grace of God, with EHC International, right now we have a project called COVID-19 project that we are working on it. This COVID-19 project, we have started it, and we are training pastors on Zoom platform. And now when we are going to start church very soon. So we are planning to train pastors, like 20 pastors, gather them and train them so that how they can be evangelizing through this pandemic. Through this pandemic.
Wonderful. It sounds like in the midst of what people may see as something negative, there's positive things happening. I know when 5 people get together, and that's church, which is a lot of what happened, in the first century. I mean, I'm sure on a larger scale, they had, more people coming in the house. But when you have that smaller number of people, really, people need to step up and be a joint of supply. And so I would imagine that it's done some things for people's spiritual lives, as well as preparing people to hear the gospel as well now. And once the quarantine is lifted and all of this, changes, and we get back to whatever, normal is, and I believe it's going to be, bigger and better. I'm not doom and gloom. So I look forward to the future. I'm not afraid of it, but at the same time, we need to exercise wisdom in the present. So it sounds like there is and is going to be a great need for World Missionary Press scripture booklets and our materials in Benin.
In Benin, we need it. We need it. For example, we started, like how I told you last time, we started children evangelism, and also student evangelism.
And
So
prison too. Didn't we discuss prisons too, or you were about to get into that?
yeah, we are about to get into the prisons, but unfortunately, the COVID-19 has stopped many activities for the prisons now because it's a statement from the government office, so that we need to stop any activity because there is a more fear for prisoners, because if they are contaminated, they can all of them can be
Spread in
contaminated
there.
easily.
Sure.
So even for those who have their parents in the prisons, or someone, even if they want to bring them food, there's some kind of social distancing that we can't go there and all those things. So for the prisons, I think for 2 months now we left it now. We are just are hoping that everything's gonna be very good, easy in the future, so that we can go on and start pursuing what we have started doing. What we started doing. So
I'm sure they will be hungry like never before for relationships, for a hug, for people to be there with them and minister to them.
Exactly. But one thing also, we are still going for the children, especially the children in orphanage centers, because here we have many orphanage here in our country. So the strategy is to evangelize the children in the orphanage centers. So if we went, we always went with something like, I always work with Source of Jesus. We can use some shoes. We have an inner association here among us. We can collect clothes from each and another, clothes and food. We go to the orphanage and we share the booklet of them. Last week or last 2 weeks, we went to a certain village called Seje. Seje. We went to that place. We met the orphans. There were many, like 40 to 50 orphans, and we shared the face mark with them. We share them food, and after we give them the, how do you call it, the booklet of St. John. John booklet, because in St. John booklet there's questions in St. John booklet. So when we read it, we ask the questions, and the children, when I'm saying children, they are not small like that. This is not 6 years old. Some are 10 years, 15 years, 12 years, 70 years, so they can reason, they can read, they can understand. So St. John booklet, we share to them. So we teach them how to use it among themselves. We choose about 2 or 3 people who can be the leader, and we are also in contact of them. If they don't understand something, we have a coordinator who can quickly go there and check how they are doing. And so this is what we are doing. We have different places that we went and do the same thing. And people are still we also are still going to the villages and sharing the gospel of the gospel of salvation. We always wear our mask. We observe the social distancing. We talk to them. One of the major things we also do is to tell these people, to make them know that COVID-19 is a reality, so they don't need to joke with their life. They have to take care of their life, wash their hand and everything. This is all part of what we are doing. And this COVID-19 is a time also people really need Jesus. We can see there's negative part of COVID-19, but there is also positive part. The positive part is that, in the whole world now, everybody is placing they are placing their hope in God, because no one can't really understand what is going on. There's fear. There's kind of fear in the heart of people. People are losing hope. People don't know what the future is going to be. So this is a very special moment that people need Jesus. Yeah, this hope they are losing. It's only Jesus that can bring them back this hope.
Yes.
And so the love they need this moment is the love of Christ. We are using this opportunity to preach them, and by the grace of God, yeah.
Wonderful. Yes, Jesus is the hope of the nations. And
Exactly.
yeah, right now there's just so much going on where people, they've lost trust in politicians and government, and they're looking for Jesus. They really are. And I believe, we're going to be better off on the other side of this because of that, So
exactly.
Yes, this whole thing has exposed the frailty of man. And 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 also are as much knowledge as we have accumulated, throughout millennia, we still don't know everything. Yeah. And it is a definite humbling time. It's a humbling time, and a time where people are reflecting, I think, more than ever. And Jesus is there. He's here with us in the midst of, in the midst of our pain, in the midst of our struggle, in the midst of whatever it is that we're going through, and he loves us. And I just thank him. He is a redemptive genius, and he's working all things together for good. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about what's happening with the orphans, with the Gospel of John, our booklets there. That really encourages me. I know it's going to encourage our listeners, our partners, and our staff as they listen in. So I'm seeing that our internet connection looks a little unstable here, is what Zoom is telling me. But this has been a wonderful time together. Do you have anything else you'd like to share before we sign off?
Yeah, it's also during this pandemic, prayer. We also emphasize on prayer very much, because here we have what we call wall of prayer, and we have at every time, every hour, there's some group of people that is praying. Then we have some intercession. We have some intercession team here, worship team. People are worshiping, praying, worshiping, praying, and praying.
Yes.
But every day, every time against this COVID-19, this is all we are also encouraged. All the pastors that we know, that's the local churches that is working with us, we encourage them, keep on praying. Keep on praying, and not only our nation. We pray for the whole world. We pray for every nation. For this, again, this COVID-19, and we believe strongly that the Lord is going to deliver us, the whole world, from this demonic pandemic. Yeah.
And to think of that, with only 312 cases and 3 deaths in a place that calls itself the birthplace of voodoo, with a Christian minority, it just shows how powerful prayer is. I can't help but to give God glory and say, this is a Jesus thing, 100%.
This is Jesus. This is Jesus. Because of what I was saying on the beginning, that it is just only the grace of God that is keeping us. It's just only the grace of God. This is Jesus, because in this country, with these minority Christians, all those who are around us, they are voodoo worshippers. There's some strange things. For example, it was last 2 weeks, we had an legislative election. I don't know that if you said it also in English. We want to elect the mayors, the mayor, the governors.
Sure.
Yeah. So
an election.
So during this election, 10 candidates lost their life. Yes, they have been killed and died. Yeah.
Wow.
Just because of witchcraft. There's something that is really here, you know,
Wow.
because these candidates don't want to see that candidate win.
So political hatred has killed more people than COVID-19.
Than COVID-19, politics, So,
wow.
So if you can see now, even our prayer topic has changed more. We are praying more against political disconvenience than even COVID-19. So because political issues in Africa is something else. Is destroying our countries. Is destroying our nations. Political issues destroying.
We have our share of political woes as well, as you can tell, and I know you've heard. So yes, and I see on Facebook I see that Africa is praying for the United States of America, and we really appreciate that.
We are praying.
Yes, so
we are praying for United States of America.
So much, and thank you. Thanks again for being with us today, Sunday, and to all our listeners, viewers, we love you so much. God bless you, and have a wonderful week.
God bless you.